What if God allowed the devil to destroy your life? Your children, gone. Your wealth, gone. Your health, gone. And you had done nothing wrong. This is not a horror story. This is the story of a real man, a man so righteous that heaven itself talked about him. His name was Job, and what happened to him will shake everything you think you know about faith. In the land of Uz, there lived a man unlike any other, Job. He wasn't a king, he wasn't a prophet, he was just a man, a good man. The Bible says he was blameless, upright, a man who feared God and turned away from evil. He had 7 sons, 3 daughters, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen, 500 donkeys. He was the greatest man in all the East. Every morning, before his children even woke up, Job would rise early and offer sacrifices to God. Not for himself, for his children, just in case they had sinned. That was Job, a man who carried everyone else's faith on his shoulders. He had everything, and he deserved everything he had. But somewhere, far above the earth, a conversation was about to happen. A conversation that would change Job's life forever. In the throne room of heaven, the angels presented themselves before God, and among them came Satan. God asked him, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered, "From roaming the earth, walking back and forth across it." And then God said something shocking. "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." God brought up Job first. Satan wasn't impressed. He sneered, "Does Job fear God for nothing? You've put a hedge around him. You've blessed everything he does. Of course he worships you." It was a direct challenge to God. Is Job's faith real, or is it just because life is good? Does Job love God, or does Job love God's blessings? And God said, "Very well. Everything he has is in your power, but do not lay a finger on the man himself." Satan left. It happened in a single day. Job was at home. His children were feasting at his oldest son's house. Then the first messenger arrived. The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby. The Sabaeans attacked and took them all. They put the servants to the sword. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Before he finished speaking, the second messenger came running. The fire of God fell from the sky. It burned up the sheep and the servants. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Before he finished, a third messenger arrived. The Chaldeans raided the camels. They took every single one and killed all the servants. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. 3 messengers, back to back to back. But it wasn't over. The fourth messenger arrived. His voice was broken. Your sons and daughters were feasting at your oldest brother's house. Suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert. It struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them. They are all dead. I am the only one who escaped to tell you. Silence. All 10 children, gone. All his wealth, gone. Everything, in one day. And what did Job do? He tore his robe, he shaved his head, he fell to the ground, and he worshipped. He said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, naked I will depart. The Lord gave, the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all this, Job did not sin. In all this, Job did not blame God. But Satan wasn't done. Satan came before God again. God said, "Have you considered my servant Job? He still maintains his integrity. You incited me against him to ruin him without any reason, but he held on." Satan fired back, "Skin for skin. A man will give anything to save his life, but stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face." God allowed it. One condition: don't kill him. And Satan struck Job with painful sores, from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Job sat in the ashes, scraping his skin with a piece of broken pottery. His own wife looked at him and said, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." Even the person closest to him gave up. But Job said, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good?" There's a difference between doubting God and wrestling with God. Job was wrestling. Then, after all the arguments, after all the silence, after all the pain, God spoke. Not through an angel, not through a vision. God spoke from a whirlwind. And he didn't answer Job's questions. He asked his own. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Who marked off its dimensions? Have you entered the storehouses of snow? Have you seen the gates of deep darkness? Can you bind the Pleiades? Can you loose the belt of Orion? Do you give the horse its strength? Does the hawk take flight by your wisdom?" Question after question after question. God wasn't being cruel. He was showing Job the scale of the universe. He was saying, "I am bigger than your suffering, and I was there the whole time." Job's response? "I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes have seen you." He didn't get all his answers, but he got something better. He got God himself.